कुमार स्वामी नायक है गोंगो लिबू लटोका रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की
In the news tonight, families disown former inmates. Ngaloa head teacher abandons position. And bogus surveyors remain a challenge.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Atera Lendua.
Good evening, Fiji. Accepting villagers released from the Fiji Corrections Service back in society has been a challenge for the Nadronga-Nabosa provinces. Nadronga-Nabosa Provincial Council head, Timothy Nawaimbalavu, says they want to rectify this and are working with the FCS on a way forward. Sanyani Boila reports.
The villagers are refusing to accept their family members who finish serving jail term.
We should know that they are our very own, our children, our blood. We need to learn to accept them when they are released by the Correction Service.
Nawaimbalavu says it's about time families learn to give former inmates a second chance.
The Council has established ways forward together with the Fiji Correction Service, and this needs support from families and loved ones to help these former inmates to get back on track with their lives.
Fiji Corrections Service Commander Francis Keane says some inmates from the province will be released on parole to undergo training.
6 children under our care will be training in Nassau next month. This is part of an agreement with the Ministry of Youth and Sports. They will be staying with their families. This is the first step we are taking as we prepare for their release.
The Fiji Corrections Service is providing relevant business training and helping sharpen other skills of inmates to prepare them to reunite with their families. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
A new head of school will report to duties at the Ngaloa Island Primary School in Bua tomorrow. Education Minister Rosie Akbar says it's unfortunate that the previous head teacher left the school without notice. Akbar says the ministry was made aware of the situation at Ngaloa 3 weeks ago. She adds this is a challenge as many teachers leave without informing the ministry. The minister says when the issue comes to their Human Resource Office, processes are followed to appoint new teachers.
Yes, we are aware of the situation. Unfortunately for us, after Ngaloa was rebuilt by the Australian Defence Forces, and when we started classes, a few weeks later, there was complaints from the villagers regarding the head of school. And without our knowledge, the head of school abandoned his position. And it was later brought to our attention. So the head of school is seen as deemed to have resigned.
Akbar says currently 70 students of the Ngaloa Primary School are looked after by 2 teachers. She says due to the less number of students, they hold composite classes. Bogus surveyors continue to dupe the public by offering cheaper rates to provide services. The registered surveyors gathered in Suva today to find solutions on the challenges they face. Dipesh Kumar has more.
These surveyors are finding difficulty in dealing with unregistered surveyors.
So you ask them what you want. So then you guys now I want to get my pegs defined. Okay. Then we said, why? No, we want to know whether it's an encroachment or not. So if it's encroachment, then I know I have to do a drawing and give to the client so they can be more cost effective. But when we give them a good price and they say, oh, somebody's got, for example, I say $1,000 and they say, oh no, somebody doing for $200. So how can you do that?
Narayan says their priority always is to educate the public on what they need to focus on when hiring surveyors.
So this way we have to tell them, hey, go, who's your surveyor? Who's going to do the work? You know, things like that. That's all we can aware them. That these things are happening and I'm a registered surveyor, I do my own work, things like that.
Fiji Institute of Surveyors Vice President Jiten Singh says many students are not completing their studies.
In the last, I want to say in the last 6 months, we've had 4 surveyors graduate, which is a huge number. So yes, we're trying to do that with the help of the University of South Pacific and FNU. They're coming out as graduates and we're helping them become surveyors.
There are 42 registered surveyors in the country with 10 working for 11 ministries. The institute is reminding people to engage with registered surveyors to get their land surveyed. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
More young farmers are showing interest in joining the dairy sector. Fiji Cooperative Dairy Company Limited Chief Executive Kushmendra Prasad believes the increase in milk price has made many youth keen to invest in the sector. Dipesh Kumar reports the milk price increased to $1.05 per litre in February last year.
The farmers used to get 87 cents per litre of milk, which was not enough to cover their cost.
It attracts a lot of farmers to come back for dairy farming because they are able to now sustain the cost.
Prasad says they are also relooking at the operation of smallholder farms.
If the smallholder farms need some assistance, we will case by case help out them and we'll set a target of 60 litres milk production.
Permanent Secretary for Agriculture Ritesh Das says commitment from farmers is vital. He adds farmers need to ensure that the milking herd is properly fed.
Fiji's current milk production or milk herd lack proper nutrition. This is attributable to a relatively high cost of feed concentrates.
The calf grower feed will now be subsidized for farmers through a memorandum of understanding with Fiji Dairy Limited, whereby farmers will have to pay only 50% of the cost. The FCDCL currently has 38 commercial farmers, of which 8 are highly qualified. Dipesh Kumar, FBC News.
Up ahead, awards a morale booster for tourism workers. And Smith's chutney business thrives.
मैं तो दिल्ली में रहता हूँ और रेडियो फीजी रोज सुनता हूँ.
रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन.
The Fiji Excellence in Tourism Awards winners say the event was a morale booster for them. With the tourism industry at a lull, these recipients say the awards have given them hope to strive forward. Saneni Boila has more.
Many of these award winners have been serving in the tourism industry for more than a decade.
Tourism is my life. I grew up in the tourism belt, and everything for me has been about tourism and trying to portray the best of Fiji everywhere I can.
Sarai worked for the Outrigger Fiji Beach Resort for 30 years and says he was always encouraged to use his styles to market Fiji.
I was the activities manager at the resort, so I got to talk to people first up with my work and explain the inner things of Fiji culture, which many do not get to get when they go on tours and stuff like that. So.
29-year-old Navneet Reddy says getting the Emerging Tourism Leader Award is a proud achievement for him.
It was a very proud moment. At least I got a finalist out of 3, and when my name came up, so I was really surprised to walk towards the stage. It was very nervous for me.
The ANZ Fiji Excellence in Tourism Awards is run annually by a voluntary committee of industry members to honor outstanding industry members. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Chutney or any particular dip has an almost magical power to transform any ordinary meal into something enticing to the taste buds. Fijians are known to love their food, and Sarah Smith decided to turn her love of cooking into her very own chutney business. Deshulal reports the budding entrepreneur is using unique local fruits and vegetables for her product.
The idea to start a unique business developed when the COVID-19 pandemic created economic hardships for the Smith family.
This is where I started off with this creativity of making this dips. Yeah, so it was good for me during the COVID-19 beginning of my new step of making business.
Smith, a chef by profession, believes in a healthy lifestyle, which is why her ingredients are from the local markets.
The ingredients mainly pineapple and eggplant, ebi, and roro. Roro is the main one, so yes.
This is my first trip here to the Rock Market, and I've just come in here to taste these lovely fresh jams and pestos, and I tell you what, Sarah's It was beautiful.
People from all walks of life flocked to the rock market at Carnarvon Street in Suva today to enjoy a wide variety of homemade food and also buy handmade jewelry, beauty products and pot plants, among other things. Jeshulal, FBC News.
The Social Democratic Liberal Party has welcomed the initiative by the government to bring in the AstraZeneca vaccine for Fijians. SODELPA leader William Ngavoka says it's crucial for us to take the jabs, as it is one of the main requirements in the world today. Ngavoka says this will help Fiji get back on track.
We need it, and people in Fiji should stop all this speculation by fear mongers. No, the vaccine is required in this country, required by everyone in the world today to help us overcome this COVID-19 threat.
Sheer determination has kept Amit Kumar moving forward after opening his restaurant a few years ago. Kumar came to Fiji from India in search of a better life for his family, but the journey has not been easy. Felipe Naikaso with tonight's successful Fijian story.
A family visa by his former employer in 2007 was the golden opportunity for Amit Kumar, who fell in love with the country.
Actually, I've never been to overseas before, so I tried to explore myself, and I got a family visa. The company Moti Bhai and Company Limited gave me the family visa to come with family, so I came here, and after coming here, I started job with at the airport, and I started liking, and then I thought of let's stay here. So I applied for the Fiji citizenship, and I got it.
Kumar worked in various companies during his first few years here, as he wanted to learn about Fiji's culture, the way of life and food. The 42-year-old had the ultimate aim of opening his restaurant, and in 2016 he did just that, opening Mumbai Dhaba in Nandi town.
It has been a dream to own a restaurant since my landing in Fiji 15 years back. I worked day and night to pursue my passion. Finally, I owned one before COVID-19, but it was dashed out due to the economic recession. But I shall continue to work hard to successfully continue my current food outlet, which is Shop and Save food court.
While things got off as planned, Kumar, like many other business owners, were hit hard by the impact of the pandemic. Forced to shut down his business, he tried to open the restaurant elsewhere, but was not successful.
I took the day as it came and tried to take the challenge on its face. Although my second venture for the new restaurant was failure, but I never lost my determination and passion. I worked to achieve my dream. My motivation was my hard work, my family support, employee support, and faith in Supreme God, Kabir.
Determined to live his dream, he finally found this perfect location in Namaka and opened a new restaurant named Chatori Chat.
Tried my best to continue in these difficult conditions. I took a loan from some friends and tried to open another restaurant. I believed in my destiny and hard work. This is improving, and I hope it shall improve in future.
Kumar has 2 children who attend school in Nandi. His parents and siblings still live in India. He says he has settled well in Fiji. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Ahead in sports, Kalyava, new cruiserweight champion. And 75% capacity proposed for sporting events. This and more coming up.
Bola, ang gono ilutoka butalita ka ng Bola FM bertini number 2 NSR.
Bola FM number 2 NSR.
Cruiserweight champion Alibireti Kauyada defeated light heavyweight champion Sabanatha Naliva during the main bout of the South Pacific boxing promotions. In front of a packed crowd at Prince Charles Park, the Mbukuya boxer won by a split decision to maintain his unbeaten record of 6 wins last night. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The bout lived up to expectations of the fans as both boxers showcased their skills. However, Alibireti Kauyada did just enough to beat Naliva.
It was a tough fight, and also I have been training for this fight for a long time. My training was just in Bukuya, and despite no proper training facilities, I still got the job done tonight.
In the main supporting bout, Ronald the Terminator Naidu won by a controversial technical knockout over Nathan the Hornet Singh.
For me, I just used the experience, and he couldn't take the punch, so I couldn't help it.
Like I said in my interview, bring the ambulance. And today we proved by knockout.
However, Singh's corner claimed the referee stopped the fight abruptly as their boxer wasn't given a standing count. Nathan's older brother, Sebastian Singh, had to be escorted out by police after he used vulgar language towards the Fiji Boxing Commission. Police also had to intervene and restrain Fiji's heavyweight champion James Singh after an altercation with Ronald Naidu's trainer Francis Shane. Despite the drama, the night has been hailed a success.
The crowd was really good, and it was nice coverage as overseas viewers responded really well to FBC.
BCB is looking forward for many more programs this year again, and looking forward all the support from the fans the way it turned up today.
More boxing promotions have also been lined up for later this year. Felipe Naikaso, FBC Sports.
Nadronga suffered its first loss in the Digicel Premier League in round 3. The side went down at Lawanga Park in Sigatoka in a dramatic 1-0 encounter against Ba.
Ba was leading 1-0 heading into the last quarter of the match when former Ba goalkeeper Isikeli Sevanaya, who is now playing for Nadronga, claimed he was fouled by Abu Zaid. Sevanaya and Zaid exchanged a few words before the young goalkeeper had battered the veteran Ba player. Zaid had to come off as he had a cut above his forehead. He later went back into the field of play after being attended to by the Ba medical team. Nadronga coach Ramesh Sharma says Sevanaya was provoked.
It was temptation from the other guy. Throughout the game, he was trying to make comments at the goalkeeper, and I think unfortunately he just could not handle the pressure and the temptation.
Ba coach Kamal Swami says his players' discipline was intact.
Our players were very disciplined today. It was unfortunate that there were certain incidents where, well, we can say the referee's decision is final. But
in other matches, Suva defeated Navua 1-0 and Nadi outclassed Lautoka 2-0. Tali Materukula, FBC Sports.
It was a narrow escape for the defending National League champion Suva football as they managed a 1-0 win over Navua. It could have been a 1-1 result if the Navua player hadn't been called for offside after placing the ball neatly into the net. Police Blue thrashed the Warden side 34-0 to claim the trophy at the third leg of the Fiji Rugby Union Super 7 series at Ratu Nganulau Park in Savusavu yesterday. The series leaders dominated the game from the get-go, leaving the Warden's side with no chance to cross the try line. Eleanor Rangevu has more.
The Police Blue side scored 6 unanswered tries to secure their third win in the FRU Super 7 series in front of a packed Ratu Nganulau ground in Savusavu. The tries were scored by Rusia Tenasobe, Waisiana Zungu, Joseba Betokula, Suliana Bolivoli, Willy Ngandolo, and skipper Keponi Paul.
I would also want to thank all the teams for giving a good battle this weekend. We always praise tournament Fiji. It's always harder, week by week. And without them, this could not be like this in the final. So
National 7 squad member Suliana Bolivoli says the 2 weeks preparation has paid off.
First of all, we would like to thank the Lord for giving us the strength from the 2 weeks we have been preparing. Our determination has paid off today.
National 7's coach Gareth Baber says the 7 squad members really put on a show.
Considering the weather and the conditions in the field, I think that all teams put a real strong effort in. It's good to see some real good quality in the final there, and you know it's tough. People don't realise just how tough these conditions are to play, and it's good to see the teams going about their business as usual. There were some errors in it, but it was good to see, certainly obviously the national reps and some of those boys pushing them.
Police Blue now leads the points table with 66 points, followed by LAR Barbarians with 45 points and Rewa Satabioni with 44 points. Eleanor Torangai View, FBC Sports.
A barnstorming William Kikau performance helped the Panthers tame the Bulldogs 28-0 in the NRL clash yesterday. Coupled with the 24-0 win over the Cowboys in round 1, the Panthers have played 160 minutes of footy without conceding any points. Apart from the chances of securing a professional contract with the NRL, the Kaiviti Silktails are boosted with professional training and mentoring by the Australian Defence Force Rugby League. Training carried out by ADFRL in partnership with the NRL will focus on professional skills development and the consolidation of the relationship Australia holds with Fiji. Talima Terukula reports.
Brigadier David Hafner says it is a continuation of the support Fiji and Australia share.
The support that Australia gave to Fiji following Tropical Cyclone Yaza, and this is just a continuation of those activities. You know, we have a strong bond through sport, and rugby league is obviously a very popular sport in both countries.
Kaiviti Silktails head coach Wesley Ngama says it's exciting for the team to be in Australia chasing its dreams.
And it's been great to sort of get around and have a look at the joint. There's so much history and whatnot, and it's probably fitting that we've got 2 boys from the army that's in our team. You know, so they've been pretty excited to come out here today too.
The ADFRL will carry out a week-long virtual training program with the Fijian military forces and Fiji National Rugby League officials from tomorrow until Thursday. Talima Terukula, FBC Sports.
Sulia Sibunivalu had his first moment of Super Rugby magic in the Reds' 26-19 win over the Western Force. The National Sports Commission is in talks with the Ministry of Health on increasing the capacity during sporting events. The 50% capacity restriction is still in place, and the Commission is proposing to increase this to 75%. Sports Commission Chair Peter Maisy says the Ministry will make the final decision.
Well, I'd like to see the stadium at 75% instead of 50%, so that's up to the Ministry of Health to make those rules. We want to find out from Ministry of Health their plans, and also we have to look at maybe starting up a sports bubble. We have been having discussions on that.
Mainly fine weather was experienced over most places today. In the west, rather cloudy with a couple of showers this afternoon. From Pacific Harbour to Suva, mostly sunny and warm conditions prevailed. And in the north, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a couple of thunderstorms, especially late in the day. At sea, east to southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, moderate seas. The next high tide is at 54 minutes past midnight, followed by low tide at 6:43 tomorrow morning. Sunrise is at 6:10. For tomorrow, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers and possible thunderstorms. And the outlook for Tuesday, mostly fine conditions. Recapping our main stories, families disown former inmates, the law head teacher abandons position, and bogus surveyors remain a challenge. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we're asking, should Fiji kava exporters found mixing local and foreign kava have their license revoked? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook and Twitter accounts. That's your news for tonight. Until tomorrow, stay safe. Wadamanda.
Hi, I'm Ini from Raki Raki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.